Can beauty be a tool for feminism, or is beauty as a whole and an industry impeding feminism? And I am somebody who loves beauty, okay? I am not the girl that's gonna say to be a true feminist and to just, you know what, to the patriarchy, we have to burn our bras and not wear lipstick. That is amazing if that's your view and how you do it. I do not do that. I love makeup. I love beauty. I love it as a tool to express myself. This is Off the Shelf, where we take the most iconic beauty brands, products, and people in the beauty industry off the shelf and examine the stories behind the story. It's where beauty is treated like the economic, cultural, and power-building force it really is. I'm Susannah Dellinger, and here we're going to talk about what really shapes the industry, who holds the power, how decisions get made, and what it actually takes to build, scale, and quite frankly, survive in beauty. These are the conversations happening behind closed doors about money, relationships, risk, and cult moments. If you're building, breaking through, or trying to understand how beauty really works, or just love a really good story, you're in the right place. Welcome back to Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Susannah Dellinger. We're going to tackle one of the biggest questions I have about the beauty industry and many people have about the beauty industry, and how it's led to one of the most exciting opportunities in my life, but how it's also led me to really question everything. And that question is, can beauty be a tool for feminism, or is beauty as a whole and an industry impeding feminism? And I am somebody who loves beauty, okay? I am not the girl that's gonna say to be a true feminist and to just, you know what, to the patriarchy, we have to burn our bras and not wear lipstick. That is amazing if that's your view and how you do it. I do not do that. I love makeup. I love beauty. I love it as a tool to express myself. I've talked about in previous episodes about how beauty has always been, for me, a sense of belonging, a way to try on different identities. And, you know, my goth girl era when I lived in Seattle and I had my purple lipstick and my long black hair, rather it's my full glam moments when I was wearing red lipstick. It was a way for me to explore different facets of myself. As I came up in the beauty industry, which has been a couple decades now, it never originally occurred to me to question, is the beauty industry actually supporting the feminist movement, or is it in any way hindering it? Until several well-meaning friends and family members along the years have sat me down and said, really, why beauty? This is putting women back so many years. You could do so many more things for the world. Why spend it on something as superficial at best and, you know, setting back women at worst? Why do it? And I was like, what do you mean? How could this actually be hurting women? And then it was like a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh, well, of course, anytime there is an expectation on a gender to appear and look a certain way, that's a heck of a problem. And somewhere along the way, beauty went from being expression, community, self-exploration, and play into, hey, girls, there's something wrong with you and you gotta fix it. And we're all gonna sit in a war room and figure out the 101 ways to tell you that there's something wrong with you. Let's go down the list of all the things that can be wrong with us. Pores. Heaven forbid we have pores. That is literally how we breathe. I don't know if anybody else saw the news article years and years ago when a model was painted head to toe in what they thought was a breathable body paint, and it turned out that it was not a breathable body paint. She suffocated and died because she literally had her pores sealed off. So just having the appearance of pores, something that our body is born with, suddenly is like, gotta fix that and address that. Okay, skin texture, meaning if your skin does not look like glass, and there is a whole glass skin movement. There are products upon products upon products around glass skin. If your skin looks like actual human skin, you must not have drank enough water. So here's 25 products to address that, okay? Now you've got fine lines. Uh-oh, you did something that's really, really naughty. You aged. Yikes. Instead of the alternative, which is We all just leave a great looking corpse a la James Dean. Aging somehow was turned from a natural evolution that every single living organism on this planet does into a weapon straight aimed at women, into a way to say you must part with your dollars in a way that your male counterparts are never going to be asked to. Don't believe me? George Clooney, sexiest man alive, gray hair, wrinkles, hot. Tell me I am wrong. Universally, we can all sit here and be like, oh my God, how did George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all these men somehow get hotter in their 50s than they were in their 20s? Yet, we look at women, and the women we celebrate, the Kris Jenners, the whomever, the Demi Moores, we say, oh my God, they're so gorgeous for 50 or 60 because they don't look 50 or 60. They are being celebrated at the same ages because they don't look their age, where the men are being celebrated because they do look their age, and that's hot. We're going to sit with that, okay? So suddenly we see, yeah, all right, there's a little bit of a problem here, right? We are being judged. They have done actual studies. So we're being judged on the way we look and the way we age. They've done actual studies that women who wear makeup at work earn up to 25% more than women who do not. Interesting, because we look rested when we're able to use concealer. We look ambitious and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and pleasant to the male gaze. And professional is framed as groomed, which is lipstick and concealer and tinted moisturizers and brows done and lashes done. Unprofessional now reads as unkempt. If your brows aren't tweezed to perfection, if you got some blackheads around the nose, if your lips look chapped, are you feeling well? Would you ever ask your male counterpart if he was feeling well because he had dark circles and chapped lips? That's just how most of these boys are rolling up to work on a given Tuesday because they were staying up playing I don't know what on their games, right? Like, it doesn't even dawn on them. They splash some water, they throw in a hat, and they're like, hey, I'm here to be your CFO. Like, women, on the other hand, are like, if I do not wear my push-up bra, my lashes, and my red lip, they are going to pass me over and ask me where a coffee refill is. It's wildly apparent that there is something wrong and something broken. Yet, and bear with me here, I believe in my heart and in my soul that beauty changes the world. As we've talked about, it's $700 billion almost that moves globally around the world. These dollars often get funneled back into female-founded businesses. And I'm not just talking about retail and what's on the shelf in Sephora and Ulta. I'm talking about women who go to beauty school, which is a trade. You don't have to graduate high school. You don't have to pay for college. You can go to beauty school, and several thousands of people can go and get high earning jobs based on going to cosmetology school. They become hairdressers. They become licensed estheticians. They become nail techs. These are ways for people to change their life circumstances and their financial circumstances through something they enjoy and they're passionate about, and that is empowering as anything to be able to do that. That is part of the beauty industry. Being able to express ourselves and play and have fun with something that we think is interesting is our God-given right in beauty. Yet somehow that was taken and shifted into there's something wrong with you, and now we're going to take the dollars. There are stats out there that a woman will spend up to $250,000 in her lifetime on beauty products, treatments, services, etc. There are no stats about how much men will spend because they're out here buying Perts Plus 3-in-1 and thinking that's also a body wash. Like, how do we track it? We can't track what men spend on grooming products because we're like, is it razors? Is it shaving cream? Is it hair gel? With women, it's, oh my gosh, there is, categories upon categories upon categories of where we can take money from women. And that's problematic. That's so problematic. But then we look at female-founded brands that are giving back, that are helping to literally build schools in third world countries and places where women are not going to get an education unless these schools are built. In places around the world, there are hospitals quite literally being built in neonatal centers from cosmetic businesses. I know because I donate to one of them. I've helped One World Health throughout all of 2024 and donated a percentage of our proceeds to help build one of the first ever neonatal centers in Uganda because the maternal health crisis is so great in Uganda. And it was something that I was like, whoa, we can actually take lipstick and turn it into saving babies. And that's so cool. And that's where I think beauty gets its power for feminism. Now, do I sit here and think about the fact that I will not record this podcast unless I do a full face of makeup because I think people will ask me, am I feeling okay? People will not take me as seriously. People will not give me the time and attention, not because consciously you look at this and go, she's not wearing makeup, flip, bye. It's because your brain has quite literally been hardwired to view me without makeup as an inferior subject expert than me with makeup on. Your brain has been hardwired to see a woman not wearing makeup and think that she is tired, to think that there is something wrong with her. And do I perpetuate that? Being somebody in the beauty industry, that's something that I sit with. And I recently had the opportunity to meet Gloria Steinem in person. She doesn't like to be called the godmother of the feminist industry. She likes to be called, kind of like the big sister of the feminist movement instead. But I had the opportunity to ask her a question publicly. And the question that I asked her with my whole body shaking like a leaf, quite frankly, was, do you think that beauty can be a tool for feminism? Or is it too far gone and has been weaponized through the lens of the male gaze? And she said to me, I'm more interested in what you think, because I had prefaced my question with who I was and the fact that I've been in the beauty industry for over 20 years. And she said, being in the industry for over 20 years, what do you think? And I had an out-of-body experience and I was like, do I have words? Can I talk? And I said, I used to really think that it could be, but as I sit in more and more rooms and hear more and more things be discussed, I really just don't know anymore. And then she said something that I'll never forget. And she said, every great movement begins with hope, and you do not leave when there is still hope. And listen, I could have died right there and be content, like, oh my gosh, okay, I have hope. How can we do this? And to my surprise, about 1 week later, I got a FaceTime call from people on Gloria's team and some co-hosts that Gloria Steinem had invited our company and myself to co-host a talking circle at her home in New York about beauty through the lens of feminism. And are there people in the beauty industry that I would like to invite to sit in a circle in Gloria Steinem's home and talk about it? Are you kidding me? Beauty in the middle, centered around feminism, the actual big sister of the feminist movement, not just thinking, I can't believe this girl asked me that question, because that's the voice inside my head, that beauty is so frivolous or beauty is so toxic in terms of feminism that it can't even be discussed. She not only thought it was a valid question, she said, come into my home and let's talk about it. And I cannot believe that I have this opportunity. And so I reached out to people I had no business reaching out to. They don't know me. But when you have Gloria Steinem's living room as the place to gather, you'd be surprised at who will actually answer your random DMs and emails. So at the time of recording, I'm about 1 month out from being in Gloria's living room with a CMO from Ulta, brand founders like Janine LaBelle, brand founder from Bread Beauty, head of Vogue US operations, a head journalist from Business of Fashion. We have huge players in the beauty industry who all want to talk about the same thing, which is not just can it be, a tool for feminism, but how can it be? And that's activism. When people can sit around and say, what if we did X? And that can be something as simple as when Michelle Lee was the former editor of Allure magazine, she banned the term anti-aging because, like all of us, she was like, wait a second. If we're not aging, again, James Dean, we're leaving a good-looking corpse. To actually say one small change, us saying we're not going to use one type of word, or maybe in the before pictures of these creams, miracles, lotions, and potions, we're not going to make everybody look so sad when they have a wrinkle, right? Have you ever noticed that, right? That the pictures of people in the before are always like, I'm so sad that I have a pore, right? Maybe we smile no matter what our skin texture looks like. I don't know what the outcome of this talking circle will be. I quite frankly don't even have any expectations. I do know, though, that the fact that Gloria Steinem wants to sit around and talk about it, and all of these players want to as well, means there's hope. And as Gloria Steinem herself said, when there is hope, you don't leave. I'm here in the beauty industry. I'm not leaving, and I hope you don't either. These conversations matter because who gets to speak shapes who gets to win. If this episode challenged how you see beauty, business, or the power behind the industry, share it with someone who needs to hear it. To connect or explore more, check the show notes. I'm Susannah Dellinger, and this has been Off the Shelf.